Did I say I was Nick and I'm an alcoholic like 4 times yet? So I stand when I talk because I like to see you guys. I get a good vibe seeing this many people on a Saturday afternoon. I mean, come on, right? My sobriety date is August 2nd of 2020. But that's not the first time I tried to clean up my act. I came into the rooms sometime in 2007 up in Brooklyn, New York, in case you can't hear it. Came into the rooms 2007 in Brooklyn, New York, but I came into the rooms not because I wanted to come into the rooms. It was a New York City judge who said to me, you got 2 choices. You lose your kids, go to jail, or go into AA and get this paper signed. Right? So, you know, I'm this wise guy from the streets, and I'm going, no brainer. Right? I get to keep my kids, I don't go to jail, and all I got to do is get this paper signed. Come on. So I said, I'll take the AA, Your Honor, you know. So now remember, my motive is I'm trying to cheat the system. That's my motive. My motive is not, hey Nick, how about you like ease up on the mountain of cocaine and the booze, you know. That's not my motive. Because at the time, I thought, I got this, which is the scariest thing I ever said in my life. I got this. Whatever it is, I got this. I'll figure it out. I'll land on my feet like a cat. So I go into the rooms of AA, and the first time I'm sitting at the meeting, you know, the meeting's going on, I heard nothing. Nothing. I was looking at the clock going, well, God, you know, shut up, right? And the meeting's over, and I got this paper in my hand. And remember, it's my first meeting ever up in Brooklyn. I got this paper in my hand, and I go, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this paper. And somebody goes, oh, give me that, I'll sign it. Right? So immediately, I'm looking around going, that's it? That's it? I got to sit here, and this guy signs it, and then that's it? So now I know I'm the only guy to ever think of this, right? I signed that shit myself. I was like, I signed it in different color ink. I had my girlfriend sign it. I had my buddy sign it. But right? I just looked up meetings. I said, okay, this is like, yes, there were computers in 2007, but it's not like today where things are freaking everywhere, you know? A phone was still kind of just a phone back in 2007. So my point is, the checks and balances weren't there. Like, you know, it was just word of mouth. So I got my paper signed. I gave it to my lawyer. My lawyer gave it to the judge. I did however many days the judge told me I was supposed to do. What I did not do was take any of the program seriously. None of it. Because again, in my brain, in my narcissistic, egomaniac brain, I said, I'm going to beat the New York City court system. I'm going to beat criminal court. I'm going to beat family court. I'm going to beat AA. I don't have a drug and alcohol problem. Completely denial. I have no problem. I wake up in jail. I don't know how I got there. Couldn't tell you where I parked my car. I lose my wallet 4 times a week. I have no problem. I'm supposed to drive it to the airport. Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, I'm going to drive it to the airport. Yeah, okay. Come on. No, I never kept a single appointment I ever made. Ever. But I had no problem. So I did the paper trick. I think I'm getting one over on the courts. I have my kids, right? My kids, who were young at the time. They were like 11, 12. I have 2 boys. They're less than 2 years apart. They call that, what do they call that? Irish twins, right? I'm Italian, but Irish twins. We had Irish twins. So I got 2 boys, 2 years apart, and they're like 11, 12, and their mom is 3rd degreeing them every time they came back from dad's for the weekend. You follow me? They would go home and their mom's like, what you do, where you go, right? And she was journaling what they did. And I'll tell you what the weekend was like. We sat in front of the Xbox, Dad ordered pizza, he went in the other room, we didn't see him. That was the whole weekend. Now, my schedule with the kids is from Friday to Sunday, that's 48 hours. That's all it is 48 hours every other weekend. See, that's only 4 days out of 31 days, right? There's 31 days in a month. I have these two little boys, 4 days. You would think I could pull my shit together for 4 days out of 31 days. I had 27 days to just, debauchery for 27 days. For 4 days, just don't drink for 4 days. There's complete impossibility. I couldn't do it. I'm recruiting my mom. I'm drafting my mom and my sister. I'm like, you gotta help me with the kids. My mom's like, wait, it's 2 days. It's Friday and Saturday. They go home Sunday. But I can't do it. So now I'm thinking I'm getting over on the system. You could probably finish the next sentence. What happens with me and the kids? I lose them. Court took them. But the court didn't take them. I phrased it wrong. You know when you hear people and they go, I lost my job, I lost my car, I lost my house, I lost my wife. I never lost anything.
Gave them away.
Traded it. I didn't lose that. I know where my house is. It's still there. Somebody else lives in it. I know where my ex-wife is. She's married to somebody else, right? I didn't lose. The job's still there. Somebody else sits behind it. Somebody else is doing it. I didn't lose it. I know exactly where they are. I traded it. Here's this beautiful life. Here's this unbelievably beautiful life. Or here's this pit. It's a pit. Now, it wasn't always horrible, because if it was always horrible, my story would be like this. I was 14 years old, I did drugs and alcohol, it was horrible, I never did it again, thank you, good night. That would be my story. It's not my story. My story was, it was a lot of fun. And then all of a sudden, one day, it was not fun. It was a necessity. It wasn't fun. I wasn't going out and being social anymore. I wasn't hitting the clubs, fucking New York, man. The city don't sleep. I wasn't hitting the clubs anymore. I wasn't going with, my buddies. What are we doing? Where are we going? I wasn't doing any of that shit. I was buying the cheapest turpentine I could get. Cheap. With the dust on the bottle. Cheap. Garbage. And I was calling the candy man. And I was locking myself in the house for 2 or 3 days. That's not fun, guys. And then you get, now I know some of you can understand what I'm saying, you get that paranoia where I check the window every 5 seconds. Who the fuck is that? Who's that? Who's that? How is that fun? And then I would get so up that I could hear my heartbeat. Right? You hear it. And I'm sweating, and it's 20 degrees outside. The sweat's pouring off me. And I can't stop. I can't stop. I am powerless. Booze and drugs are my master. I'm its bitch. I didn't care what day it was. I didn't care what time it was. If I needed a hit, I got a hit. I didn't care how far I had to travel, who I had to lie to, who I had to steal from. I didn't care. I didn't care. I was powerless, unmanageable. That's before I walked into any program and took the program seriously. I did step 1 all by myself. I looked in the mirror and I said, you're dying. You're dying by my own hand. I chose to kill myself. Not with a bullet, not with rope, not with a knife. This slow, agonizing death. I didn't look like this. I didn't sound like this. Lord knows I didn't smell like this. There was no toothbrush in my house. The sheets, the mattress, when you just lay in bed, you sweat. You just sweat, right? Just like the mattress is, you gotta condemn it, burn it, right? And that's right, right, Forget personal hygiene. Forget all of that shit. So you want to talk about powerless and unmanageable. That's step one, people. But I had to admit it. Now remember, I'm from the streets. I was raised like a feral animal. I had just a single mom. She did her best. You know. There's no internet. There was no iPhones when I was a kid. I'm a little older than some of you. So we had to use this thing called your imagination, and we had to go outside, because your mother would take you. Outside. Go outside and come home when it's dark. That's when you came home, when it was dark or you were hungry. That was it. That's when you came home. So we were outside, and now I got to amuse myself, and I'm with like a pack of like a dozen sixth graders, right? All of us are just roaming the streets of Brooklyn, and we got to amuse ourselves. We got into trouble. That's how you amuse yourself. You get into trouble. And the older kids were the introduction to, hey, you ever drink this? You ever smoke this? You ever take this? And we were all in the schoolyard, and it would just make the time go. You know? I say, I never had a drink or a drug for 12 years. I didn't have a drink or a drug for 12 years. Then I turned 13 years old. And then that's all I did. All I did was drink and drug. And I blamed you guys. You follow me? It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. My mom didn't care. My father was never home. You know what I mean? Oh, my job sucks. It was everybody else's fault that I drank and drug. Like I was like this innocent victim. That word, I don't even like saying that. I want to spit now. That word, victim. I wasn't a victim. I was a volunteer. There's no victims. Victim. Nobody tied me down, put a gun in my head, put a funnel in my mouth. That's a victim. And even then, you can like fight. Right? I was, yes, please, more. It's not a victim. But I cried victim, you know. Oh, I'm the product of society. You know, I had all these, it's called righteous indignation. Anybody ever hear that? It's called righteous. When I come up, I can justify all my bad choices. I can justify. It's called righteous indignation. Every shitty choice. I got arrested because the cops were picking on me. Why are you picking on me? Because they got nothing better to do. Right? They singled me out. A city of 10 million people, New York City, 10 million people. This guy, we're going to pick on him tonight. We're going to drag him up and put him in jail and put him through the system for no reason. I moved to Charleston 5 years ago. I lived in Charleston, I swear, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I moved to Charleston, I didn't know anybody. And I'll tell you why I moved down here in a second. I moved to Charleston, I didn't know anybody. I was here 3 weeks. In less than 21 days, I have 3 cop cars in front of my house, 2 a.m., banging on the door. And I'm literally going, how'd the cops find me in Charleston? You know what I'm saying? I thought I left all that bullshit 800 miles north. You know? I moved to Charleston for a lot of reasons. None of them good. I was running away from Nick. I was trying to get away from this mountain of chaos that I built. I built it. I come from a huge Italian family, giant. Like when you watch the movies and the TV shows, that's true. That's my family. None of them wanted anything to do with me. They were done with me. For an Italian mom to say, I'm done with you, you know, I don't know what nationality, and I'm not saying it's different. I just know with my family, my Italian mom said, I'm done with you. And she wasn't done with me. It was too agonizing for her to watch what I was doing. She wanted me to stop. Nobody's going to stop unless you want to stop. I don't care who begs you on their hands and knees to stop me. I don't care who asked me to stop. I told you, my wife asked me to stop at the time. My ex-wife asked me to stop. My children, two little boys, look just like me, tiny, adorable, begged me to stop. The police told me to stop. The judges told me to stop. My job told me to. Everybody said, Nick, you got to stop. Yeah. I didn't stop. You know why? Because I got this. I'll figure it out. I don't have a problem. You know what the greatest motivator for me was? The greatest motivator. Anybody want to guess? Greatest motivator. Pain. Agonizing fucking pain. Agonizing pain. Because, like, I'm one of those guys that I won't go to the dentist unless my face is like this big, you know, swollen, and my tooth's like, Then I go, I need a dentist. I'm not going to the doctor unless the bone is sticking out of my arm, and I go, oh, that looks bad. But I don't. The pain has to be excruciating to get my attention. So finally, I'm here in Charleston. I didn't know anybody. I got already the Charleston PD knows me. 20 days, they already know me. The only time my phone rang, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, the only time my phone rang was detectives in 3 different states. 3 different states. Yeah, I did some shit. Detectives in 3 different states, lawyers, or the drug dealer I owed him money. That was it. That's the only reason my phone rang. That was it. There was nobody calling me up going, hey man, how you doing? There's nobody. And there was nobody for me to call. I burnt every bridge. I burnt them. But at the time, I was still furious at the world. I told you just a minute ago, this is all your fault. This ain't Nick's fault. This is your fault. Why are you all picking on me? Just leave me alone. Why don't everybody on the planet just do what I want you to do? Just do what I want you to do. Is that too much to ask? If you would just all do what Nick wants you to do today, what a lovely day it would be for me. Think about that. And that was my thinking. That's insane thinking. That's insane fucking thinking. Anybody that's ever had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, tell your boyfriend or girlfriend what to do. Let me know how that goes. Right? They usually don't land so well. So I'm sitting here trying to tell the whole world what to do. And because the world wasn't listening to me, I'm getting angrier and angrier. And I'm digging a hole deeper and deeper. And I'm going more and more in debt. Right? Because I am not stopping. I still got to feed the beast. So I come to Charleston. I don't know anybody. And I did one thing, the smartest thing I did. Now I've been saying out loud to the world, Nick's got this, I got this. I've been saying this for 5 decades. That's a long time to try to figure it out. That's a long time to try to figure it out. If anybody in this room is in your teens or 20s, I pray for you. Figure it out. Now. Or don't. Or don't. Choice is yours. It took me 5 decades to figure it out. That's a lot of agony and pain. That's a tremendous amount to carry. And I finally did the smartest thing I did. I did one thing. I surrendered. I surrendered. And I didn't know who or what I was surrendering to. I just knew I couldn't do it. I was done. Couldn't do it. I was done. And I dragged myself in West Ashley, the Blue House. You all know the West Wag, the Blue House? Okay, so anyway, I dragged my ass into West Ashley. I didn't know anybody. And the only reason I went is because I'm looking on the app and I go, well, this is the closest one to my house. And I was like really in no condition to drive. So I said, all right, let me get it. I drove, stupid. I drove, and I got there, and I sat in the back. That's what we do. We sit in the back, and we look at the clock, and we tap a foot. And I can't make eye contact with anybody. And I'm detoxing in the room. I'm trying to maintain, and I'm praying to a God that I don't believe in. I'm praying to a God that I'm angry at and doesn't exist. But I'm angry at him, but he doesn't exist. There's more alcoholic thinking. There is no God, but I'm really pissed at God. And I'm sitting and I'm shaking, and they're talking, and there were men in the room, as soon as the meeting ended, that like attacked me in a good way. Do you know what I mean? They like circled me. And they were like, you're a new guy, right? And I'm like, how can you tell? I was a mess. My hair's, just a mess. I smell with flies buzzing around. I was a fucking mess, man. And they go, you're a new guy, right? Well, here's, they give you the paper with the meetings, and everybody signs it. They give you your phone number. Now, I surrendered And this time I did it for me. I didn't do it for a girl. I didn't do it for a job. I didn't do it for my children. I didn't do it for my mom. I did it for Nick. I really surrendered. And not in words. Like, I could say anything. I'm an alcoholic. I'll tell you anything. I'm the greatest. I'll sell ice in the winter, man. I bullshitted my way through life. I said it and I meant it. And the only person I said it to was me. I said, I'm done. So these total strangers gave me this piece of paper with just a name and a phone number, right? And I don't know, 18 names and numbers. Do you know what I did? I fucking called everyone. I went straight down the damn list. Called it. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what they were going to say. But I knew that if I did not fill my time, I was going to drink and drive. I had to do something. And the people that answered the other end of the phone, it was just a voice on the other end of the phone. And I said, yeah, I'm Nick, and you gave me your name. And the minute I said that, they were like, oh yeah, hey, oh, bing, bang, boom, and we started talking. I talk to a great number of these men today, now, still. We went from strangers to friends to family. Now, if that's not an act of something bigger than me, look, I couldn't quit. I needed something bigger than Nick. Now remember, my whole life, I was like convinced I was going to figure it out. I got this covered. My whole life. Look, I don't have a problem. I got this covered. Well, step 2, after I surrendered, I said, look, man, I need something bigger than Nick to help me. And I didn't know what that was. Now, step 3, I don't know if y'all are familiar with the 12 steps. Step 3, for me, was difficult. Because step 3, I have to turn my will and my life over to the care of God. That's what it says in the book. I told you a minute ago, I didn't believe in God. And if there was a God, I was really pissed at him. But what choice did I have? I told you I surrendered. What choice did I have? The booze and the drugs are waiting for me. I know what's down that road. I've been there, right? And my motive was not just pain, but I no longer wanted to die, and I didn't know how to not die. I was going to die. My blood work was a mess. I was going to die. So I said, well, what are my choices? They say, oh, this is a suggestion, right? You ever hear that? Oh, it's a suggestion. We suggest this. Well, here's the suggestion. Do what's in the book or die. That's it. And you know what? That's not an easy choice. It's actually a difficult choice for me. Think about how twisted that is. Okay, Nick, if you do this, you're going to die. Or just read this book. Die or read this book. And I'm sitting there going, die or read the book. Damn. Right? Ridiculous. So I said, Nick, you surrendered, right? You're powerless. Booze and drugs are your master. You need something bigger than you. I've been trying for over 50 years to kick this. Technically 40 years to kick this habit. Right? So you figure I started when I was 13. I haven't kicked it yet. I said, all right, I need power greater than me. So I said, you know what? Literally, I said, put my hands in the air. I said, let's try this God thing. And I didn't dive into the deep end of the pool. I didn't. Some people do. Some people dive right into the God end, the deep, the 12-foot deep end of God. Not me. I was in the little kiddie pool end of the God. And I walked in real slow, But eventually I got over here and I took my water wings off. Eventually, I got into the deep end. Today, now, I have God in my life and I make no apologies. I do not apologize for God. I do not say Jesus. I do not say Allah. I do not say Buddha. I do not say Muhammad. I say God. Just a power that can create things that man cannot. Get it? I cannot make a bird fly. I can't. I cannot make a fish swim. I can't. I cannot feed every squirrel in the world. I can't. Something figured that shit out. Think about it. The leaves are falling off the trees, and in a few months, they're going to come back. I didn't do that. I can't do that. I don't know what does that. I know if I got involved, I'd fuck it up. Right? I would. I'm going to make this fish, this fish fly. I'm going to do something stupid. So whoever does that, whoever says, here's where the ocean is going to end and the land begins, whatever power came up with that, that's who I pray to. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, and that's okay. And if I talk, and I sponsor a lot of men, and their God is not my God, and that's okay. It's okay. Just something. And if you don't want to call it God, you want to call it Fred? Okay, Fred. But Fred has the ability to do things that Nick can't. I can't do what Fred can do. So I'm going to pray to Fred, who I'm going to call God. Cool? Now you get into 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. These are called the action steps. You all familiar with this? Or am I? Because I'll slow it down if I need to for anybody in the room. These are called the action steps. Recovery is a program of action. Okay? Sitting in this room and listening to me yell at y'all, that's great. That's great. And hopefully I'll plant a seed. Because that's all I want to do today, is plant the seed in one of you. And I'll be like, woo, success. But it's a program of action. I had to get off my ass and do work on me. I was thinking a very certain way. My brain is wired and geared a very certain way. And I was thinking a certain way for 50 years. I was thinking, this is how I was thinking for 50 years. I can't think like that. Because I want this new life, right? This new life is going to start where? Where my old life ends. That's a big, scary thing. Change is scary. It's real scary. And I'm an alcoholic. I don't want to do anything scary. I want to do things that make me feel good, and I want to feel good now. Immediately. And why did I drink and drug? Because I don't want to do anything. Now I'm in this program of action. But, guess what? I got God now. And God can do anything. So I turn to Him. And I go, look, this is big and scary. And my thinking don't work. I need you to guide me. I'm not a religious zealot. Don't let the cross fool you. I'm not. I wear the cross as a reminder to me when I look in the mirror. I got to remind myself all day, every day, I'm a drug addict and an alcoholic. All day, every day. Anybody play a musical instrument? Anybody? Nobody in the whole room plays a musical instrument. All right. Okay, pretend you play a musical instrument. You don't sit at a piano for the first time in your life and start playing Beethoven, right? You don't. You play Mary Had a Little Lamb, maybe if you could even do that. That's what the program was to me. I sat down with this book. I knew nothing about it. I was like in kindergarten. And I had to learn a little bit, slowly, at my pace. And my pace might be different from most of yours, and that's okay too. And I had to learn. And I had to learn. And I had to learn how to now pray. I had to learn how to pray. Did you want to hear what a normal prayer is for Nick? This was an old prayer for Nick. Oh shit, God, I am in so much trouble. Can you get me out of this mess? If you get me out of this mess, I promise I'll never do it again. That was a prayer. And then God would get me out of the mess. Do you think I held my end of the bargain? No. Whenever I just prayed I'd never do it again, I was doing it 45 minutes later. Because I'm like this, I got one over on God. Right? Look at God, He got me out of this and I'm going to fucking do it again. I don't pray like that today. You know what a prayer is for me today? Thank you. That's it. That's a whole prayer. The sun came up this morning, and I'm not in the hospital, I'm not in jail, and I'm not in the morgue. And the sun came up today. And it's gorgeous outside. And I'm not fucked up. And I don't have the obsession. You follow me? It's not my master. I'm not its bitch anymore. It's not my master anymore. And that shit took work. And remember, I'm an alcoholic. I don't want to do anything I don't want to do. If I don't want to do it, I don't do it. That's old thinking. That's my old thinking. That's why I wear this. Because every time I look in the mirror, I brush my teeth, I comb my hair, I go, ah. That's what's waiting for me out there. That nightmare. How many of us first time rehab? First time rehab. Second time rehab. Third time rehab. All right.
Keep going.
All right. 4. We got 4 or more. We got 4 or more. All right. All right. You know what? Look, I don't tell anybody what to do. I don't. Seriously, because I don't know what to do. Because when I was doing what I wanted to do, it never ended good. I don't tell anybody what to do. But here's what I will say confidently to this whole room. If you try what I did, which is in this book, I take this book everywhere. This is my big book. I take it everywhere. Everywhere. I'm old school. I wrap it in a paper bag. Anybody know about that? Old school. I had no money. We didn't have book covers. This is a paper bag from the grocery store. This is my big book. I take it everywhere. I promise you. I'm not telling you what to do. You do what you want. I did what was in this book. My life got better. That's it. I can't argue with results, people. Results. How do I argue with results? I was looking up at 0. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. 0 was up there. Fucking 0 was like I had to get a ladder to get to 0. That was 0. I'm not looking up at 0 anymore. I'm not boasting, but I compare Nick to Nick. That's all I compare Nick to. And Nick 5 years ago and Nick today, I don't want to go back. I don't have to go back. I don't have to go back. I was a chronic relapser. That's why, you guys, the super seniors in the room, 3, 4, 5 times in relapse, I was a chronic relapser, man. Until the day I said to me, to my reflection in the mirror, I'm done. I surrender. And then all I did, and I know it's a simple program for complicated, fucked up people. I just read the book, and I didn't argue with the book, because I was also that guy. I read the book, I was like, I ain't doing that, I'm not doing that, fuck that, right? And then I read the book, and I said, all right, I'm going to try it. I'll try it. I can't argue with results, folks. I can't. I don't know what tomorrow has in store for anybody, but I promise you this, if you do what's in the book, your life's going to get better. Mine did. Just, or, just a suggestion, keep doing what you're doing. Right? Just, keep doing what you're doing. Or maybe the pain is great enough that we need to change something. You with me? I love you all. Thank you so much for letting me talk.